don't think that's the case.
Of course it's not. Your father met some girl at the fucking secretary pool.
But it makes him look like, how do you do that? How do you leave?
You don't.
An infant.
And he didn't come and visit all the time?
No, he did every Sunday. Every Sunday,
God. He's a Clipper dad.
Me and my brothers.
You go to Clipper games. It's all guys like your dad. Can't afford a Laker game. Go see the Clippers, son.
That's funny.
And then we'll get ice cream.
Yeah, so that was the thing. But my mother,
Go ahead.
what I'm saying is that I just don't want. I don't want you to think that it was.
Spit it out.
Decide with to say, oh, the father, the guys have so much. I can't
talk.
No, I can't talk because I'm trying to think where we were. The thing that I'm
saying men have a much easier time post-divorce because we move on because we don't give a fuck. And if we do give a fuck...
But what I'm saying... Okay,
we don't want to give a fuck, and that overrides giving a fuck.
Right, but this is what I'm trying to say.
Does that make any sense?
That even if the mother...
Matt's like, yeah, sure.
Even if the mother had the attitude, which she has every right to, fuck him, I'm moving on with my life. It just... If you were a decent mother, then you're like, I can't be going out every night of the week. I got 3 kids. I got an infant at home, and I can't be going out by myself. I can't leave him with these 2 boys, 10 and 14, because they don't know what the hell they're doing.
Let me paint a scenario for you.
All right.
You're 8 years old. You got the tissue box set up as the casket for your guy in the Matchbox car that died a fiery death.
Oh, yeah.
You got your little, your Lego, your Star Wars people, Boba Fett's at the funeral. You got everybody.
No, we couldn't afford, that's the other thing.
Let me finish. All right, I'm trying to paint a nice photo for everybody.
Yeah. It was those Fisher-Price little people who were involved in this.
Did you hear me start to say little people? He's got the Dre Beat headphones on. He heard me go, and then I switched to Boba Fett to get the nerds from Smodcast. Fucking nerds. Nice neck beard. Put down the Mountain Dew and subscribe, you prick. So you got this little funeral going. Your brothers are off at college. They fucking gave you the Heisman years ago.
Yeah.
You're alone in the house.
Yeah.
Your mother comes in. Gary.
Yeah.
This is Saul. How would that have made you feel? A nice guy goes, hey, Gary, would you like to go fishing with me right now? After your funeral, of course.
Yeah.
Like he gets you. Was your mother unable because of the time? Or is it what I said, divorced women can't ever unshackle that shit from their legs?
But there were plenty of divorced women who did do that, who got remarried.
Whores!
No, my...
Janet Rossi's a whore! A whore lives here! Hello? I'm sorry!
My best friend growing up is...
You didn't know this was going to turn... This is therapy.
It is.
How would you have felt if your mother met a guy at the market? They talk. I'm not saying nothing untoward about Barbara Walters.
No, not at all.
All completely hands above deck.
Yeah.
And she goes through all the proper channels, makes him wait forever, the whole thing, and says, this is my son, Gary. He has funerals on the couch for his Matchbox men. And he goes... And he gets down on his knees and he's like, how you doing, pal? And you explain to him what's going on and he goes, man, that's sad. He was a heck of a driver. And you look at this guy like, oh, look at your face now. Right now your face is like, why didn't this happen? Would you have thought, oh man, this isn't cool for the time? Or would you just would have worn this guy like a sweater? And seen your dad on Sundays.
Yeah.
And your dad, you would have been in a unique position to make your dad enragedly feel shitty, as he should have for leaving kids, by going, Saul came by again, and he told me, you gotta hit your free throws. And your dad would be like, who? What? Saul. I don't know why your dad's Alan Arkin. Saul? Saul came by again?
Let me just say this.
Yes.
There were a million Sauls, but none of them dated my mother. Do you know what I'm saying?
No.
My mother worked at the cafeteria at Sears. That was her job when I was in elementary school. She had mother's hours, so she could come home and be there when I got home from school. So between the guy who sold carpet, who who also sold baseball cards on weekends and hired me to help him sell baseball cards as baseball card shows
And
on the
why did
weekend.
he hire you to sell baseball cards?
I loved baseball cards.
Fuck that. He wanted to be with your mom.
No,
It's like
no.
when you
He
hire
was
Rex Chapman's father.
Jay.
Oh, wait, time out. It's like when you hire Rex Chapman's father to be an assistant coach at Kentucky. You don't give a fuck about Rex Chapman's dad. You just know Rex Chapman's going to fucking commit to Kentucky.
Are you sure you're not talking about Danny Manning and
I'm talking about Tracy Chapman. She was a fucking beast. You see her in the paint. It doesn't matter where you... I just had a stroke. It doesn't matter.
It's very it's very interesting.
That guy
Imagine if he was my... this is a funny therapist. The therapist who we're making headway. I'm opening up beyond any therapy I've ever done. No, I understand that.
That's quite a balancing act.
But also,
we're going long today, Cohen.
You're working in the soundtrack of the 90s movie scene.
Because I know what makes my clients open up and relax. Flies with beaks? Alan Arkin. He's Jewish. I thought he's one of your people. You know, it's amazing. I've been working the counter at Sears for years. That guy hired you. No one needs help selling baseball cards. You know why? Because I want a Ricky Henderson rookie card. So I go to Porky's baseball card shop on Ventura Boulevard.
No, this was in the...
And I go, do you have a Ricky Henderson rookie card? And he goes, yes, I do. It's in the future because it's 1974, but here it is. I know you're about to interrupt and go, Ricky Henderson didn't play yet.
No, I wasn't going to interrupt that.
Sorry.
First of all, the guy was married. My mother was not...
So was your dad. Your dad was married.
That's not what was... I mean, that's interesting, but I know that's not what was going on there.
This guy was overwhelmed with his fucking baseball card business. If I could only get a neighborhood kid to take the goddamn workload off, if I have to take another 5x3 piece of paper and slide it across a counter at a kid, I'm going to fucking... My back hurts.
Jay, you can tell when something is registering with me, and that's not the case. Let's talk about the guy who worked in the receiving dock at Sears, who was really into basketball. He used to take me to high school basketball tournaments.
Yeah,
and he could dunk. So this guy was amazing to me.
But you know your mother wasn't going to date a black guy.
I guess what I'm trying to get across is that there were a million Sauls, but none of them were my mother's boyfriend. I already said that.
Let me tell you something. Your mother was Stonewall Jackson.
Explain that to me, because I don't know.
She put up a stone wall the second your father hit the street.
Okay, yeah.
And she said, I'm going to raise these boys. I'm going to work. And in order for me to be hurt the way I've just been cut down to the size of a speck,
yeah,
I would have to open up to let someone in.
I'm never going to get bitten by a shark again because I'm never going in the fucking ocean.
Right. So your mother, to protect herself, she was hurt so bad, which, by the way, I further commend you for being the guy to always look out for Baba Waba. Rosanna, Baba Waba. I respect you even more because you are now, it's a parent-child relationship. You're the parent. You care for your mom. You protect her to make sure she never gets hurt like that again. And hand in glove in the relationship, your mother is never going to go, I met this guy. He's going to take me out to see The Descendants with the George Clooney. And it's going to be good. Because if she does even that one thing, that guy could go, that was a good time, drop her off, not call, and then she's back to feeling shitty about herself. The way your mother has chose to live her life at the cafeteria at Sears, she will never feel that sorrow ever again. She made a wall, like Luke Perry and Oz. They put him in the wall, and they sealed it, and they never fucking went back to that storyline again. Your mother is Luke Perry and Oz.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
And now she should be commended. But there's two sides of the coin. Is she to be commended, or do you at some point, does she have enough joy? And I'm asking you seriously. Does she have joy in her life in the last, say, 15 years? Do you see your mom enjoying her life? She goes to her groups.
Yes.
She does this. She does that. Does she have enough joy in her life?
She always loved her job and enjoyed the people at her job and her best friends. She's always had a million friends and everybody loves her. And she's a great neighbor. She's friendly with all the neighbors. And
so your mother doesn't need a man,
Right.
the intimacy of a man. It's not like this piece of the pie wedge in that chart of her DNA. Like you and I, you're searching for love.
Yeah.
And you're willing to get kicked in the face and bit on the wrist, and punched in the face by drunken hooas.
Yeah.
And all that. Your mother got the one giant kid, I'm sending you down. I got, you're cut from the team. And she goes, I'm never picking up a bat again. I'm never going to get cut from a fucking team.
Yeah.
Bullshit. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go down to Stacy's house and see if she would like some of the bundt cake I made. That's how she gets, right?
Yeah.
So you're telling me she's completely happy?
No, there's no way.
Oh. Our time's up on the therapy.
Yeah.
But let's remember where we were. We'll put a pin in that because I want to hear. No. She's not happy.
Not completely, no.
But is she not happy because of the no intimacy with a man?
I don't even think she's even self-aware enough to consider that has ever been a possibility. This is not somebody who's doing a lot of deep thinking or internal. I think she's been numbed by television and other things.
Who hasn't?
Yeah.
When she meets people, does she tell them that she's divorced?
Yes.
How long ago?
But she used to say, my husband is gone. And so people would assume that he was dead.
Good.
And
fuck
stop
him.
asking.
That's how she, yes.
Yeah.
Not fuck him to your
right.
guy
No, I know. I understand.
Born you.
No, I understand.
And raised you
but there's
once
a great
every
deal
6
of,
days.
But there's a great deal there's a great deal
once
of
every
ambivalence.
6 days. That was my dad.
There was a great deal of ambivalence with my father, and it's a very strained relationship to this day.
Because you say, you picture, you want kids.
Yes.
And you picture yourself you saw my baby.
Yeah.
Walk out that door and fucking see that kid every Sunday. It's inconceivable to you. Right?
Yeah.
And this is a hypothetical with a baby you just met. But I saw you holding that baby. You're filled with love. And you're filled with compassion. And you wonder, how could my father throw up a blind spot and not, I'm right here? Sundays? Are you fucking kidding me? Have you seen every other kid in the neighborhood? And that is a resentment that you can't be blamed for. But I have to tell you this. You're never going, and I wrote about this in No Wonder My Parents Drank.
Yeah.
Your father is right now, and your whole childhood every Sunday, he loved you with every fucking ounce of his body. There was no rainy day where he's going to come around and give you more than what he's getting. And Sundays was the arrangement that was reached. And on those Sundays, he might have been looking around, checking his watch, and you might have read into everything. And to this day, that strained relationship you have with your father, I wish my father was more open with his love to me. That's all he's got. But you got to keep in mind, he's giving you more than what he got. Because it's human nature. I'm going to have children, and I'm going to give them more than what I have. You're getting more than what he got once a week. That's crazy. To think that that guy was able to see you every Sunday and just fill your fucking cup with everything he had. So that resentment you have for your father, you have to start processing. The guy wasn't holding anything back. I wasn't a burden. I was his child. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your father loves you with from his toes to the top of his head. His cute, balding, Jewish head.
No, he's got a full head of hair.
That beautiful, Sephardic, hairy head of his. Loves you. Let me finish. Loves you with everything he has. And guys like you and guys like me, I call my dad sometimes, and I would like my dad to just call me sometime and go, my mother will call me once every 5 days and go, I'm just sitting on my porch having coffee and I'm watching the birds, just filled with love, just thinking of you. I would love for my dad to drop that dime in that payphone every once. That's not.
Your mother had the gift of AA, where you're in touch with your feelings and you're aware of yourself and your effect on other people. The AA is Kurt Vonnegut said it was the only worthwhile religion on the planet, because those people understand and do a lot of self-reflection, and so she's happy. She wants to share that with somebody. I don't think either of my parents have that type of internal awareness. So you're very lucky about that. And the other thing,
I know it.
Yeah, the other thing with the every Sunday is that I talked about this with Todd Glass a lot because both my parents had horrible upbringings, horrible
Right.
parents, really
Okay.
mean. If you compare what they got and what they saw from what you could expect from our parents to what they gave us, you'd be like, wow, that is
They tripled what
exponentially.
they, yeah.
Yeah, not tripled. Like, it's just incredible.
And that's just on fucking Sundays.
Right. Yeah.
Look at the game tape.